know the names of an infant and woman killed early this morning in a Dooley County home. According to Deputy Coroner Ricky Hudson, 17-month-old Jayshawn Ingram and Priscilla Adams were found dead on Hill Street in Byronville.
A teenage girl was also shot. She is listed in critical condition at the Medical Center Navicent Health. Yvonne Thomas spent the day in Byronville and breaks down the twists and turns of this tragedy.
A neighborhood is filled with grief and questions.
Just don't add up. You know, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You think you get a feel of what may be, where it may be leading.
Around 4 a.m. Thursday morning, investigators say a woman, teenage girl, and infant were found shot outside of their home on Hill Street. Deputy Coroner Ricky Hudson says Priscilla Adams and 17-month-old Jayshawn Ingram died on the scene. The teen was taken to a Macon hospital. People in this community are in disbelief of this horrific crime. I spoke to several family members earlier this morning who are just trying to make sense of this violence.
So we responded with pretty much everybody that we have. We got on scene and we started working on getting a search warrant.
GBI Special Agent in Charge J.T. Ricketson says not long after they arrived at the scene, the Dooley County Sheriff's Office sent out their K-9 unit in the direction they were told the shooter ran.
And while they were doing this search, we actually found a third body that was across the street.
Dooley County's coroner identified the man as Willie Merrill. Ricketson says his body will be sent to a GBI crime lab to determine that man's cause of death. But Ricketson would not comment on whether the man's death was connected to the other two. Peavy says investigators are carefully collecting evidence.
We want to work in a hurry, but I think Agent Ricketson will tell you we got to take it, very slow so we don't miss anything.
In hopes to understand a crime that's baffled the city of Byronville. In Dooley County, Yvonne Thomas, 13 WMAZ, Eyewitness News.
Channel 2's Matt Johnson's in. This afternoon, a mystery in Middle Georgia. The GBI is trying to figure out what led to the shooting deaths of 3 people, including a 17-month-old boy. Channel 2's Matt Johnson's in. Middle Georgia. The GBI is trying to figure out what led to the shooting deaths of 3 people, including a 17-month-old boy. Channel 2's Matt Johnson's in Dooley County, where he's been working to learn about those involved.
I asked the GBI if there is a threat to the public.
This channel sucks.
I asked the GBI if there is a threat to the public at this point, but they say it's early in the investigation, and they can't quite answer that. In the meantime, we talked to a lot of people in the neighborhood trying to figure out who killed a
small sleepy town like this. I just can't fathom it.
A quadruple shooting that killed 3 people, including a 17-month-old boy, has devastated the small Middle Georgia town of Byronville. The Dooley County town, with a population of about 500 people, is struggling to make sense of the early morning shooting.
Now we hear about it. In Warner Robins, Macon, Atlanta, but it's come right here in Byronville now.
The GBI says local authorities found a 47-year-old woman dead next to the body of the little boy in front of a house at around 4:15 in the morning. Family members say the little boy's name was Jayshawn Ingram.
He was a good little boy. He's only 17 months old. So what kind of problem could he be?
Deputies also found an injured 17-year-old girl who had been shot, but they say she's recovering at a Macon hospital. A K-9 later found the body of a 60-year-old man across the street.
We do have a weapon in our possession that was located by the 4th victim that was found across the street.
The GBI can't say whether there's an active search for a suspect, but they are questioning witnesses about a history of domestic issues.
There was a lot of problems that were going on inside this residence. There was about 6 or 7 people that lived.
boy's family says the woman who died with him would watch him while his mother worked overnight. Now, they just want justice.
I miss my grandbaby. Whoever did this, they needs to pay. Pay dearly.
Now, witnesses say the 50-year-old man who was found dead was a neighbor. I just got off the phone with the GBI.
Lord, this payback. Sorry about the playback on this one, guys.
And they says they're calling that death a death investigation. In the meantime, GBI says they'll be back out here tomorrow to try to figure out more clues about this double homicide. Live in Dooley, Matt Johnson.